Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Matt back here with another video. We're doing another review today, but not a review like I've done before. So I've done reviews on cameras and lenses in the past, but this is the first time that an audio company called Comica reached out to me, and they wanted me to take a look at their, I have to check my notes for this one, it's a hefty title. They wanted me to check out their Comica CVM-WM100 Plus wireless lavalier mic set. And it comes in this nice pouch here, which I'm a huge fan of. I love having a neat organization for my equipment like that. The reason I decided to take them up on this, because even though I'm mainly a video guy, obviously audio is a big part of video, and I have some experience with audio working, doing like music videos and performance videos for musicians with live audio, as well as video production with lavalier mics and stuff. For the most part, I can't remember what it's called either. What I'm using right now, this Zoom F1 field recorder. This is just runs to a little SD in here, and I have the lav mic I'm using right now connected into it. So this is what I usually use for my lav mic audio. The difference between this and what I'm using now is what I'm using now just writes to its own SD card. Because it just writes to the SD card, it doesn't send the signal anywhere, there can't be another person off listening to the audio to make sure it's sounding good. So if the audio shuts off or something, that's obviously a problem. That's where the benefits of this come in. So let's just take a look inside here. You get the transmitter, or the receiver I mean, and you get two transmitters. So there's actually two mic packs in here and two microphones. So these are both the mic packs. You would just obviously clip this to yourself. They're slightly bigger than the Zoom thing I was showing earlier, but they're lighter actually, and they're kind of plasticky, but I'm okay with that. I'm not expecting to really hurt them a lot. And then obviously you have your receiver here. So the benefit of this is that you can have an audio person listening to it, or you can listen to your audio in real time from the lav mic. But the drawback is that you have to use a receiver. So I'll show you some examples here later whenever I show you the audio from obviously I'm not using these right now, but later when I show you the audio from these, I'll show you the difference between using the receiver plugged right into your camera's preamps, which in some occasions aren't that good, like my Fujifilm X-T3 doesn't have the best audio preamps. But then I'll also show you the more professional way, which is sending it to an audio recorder. I have a Zoom H6 here, just slightly off camera, that has much better preamps. So sending the receiver into an audio recorder with good preamps is the best way to get the full range out of these. But when you use these, you have to have more equipment involved, just because you have to have something taking the audio. For a lot of people, that's just gonna be their camera, so they have this included in here. So this is just a little piece that screws in the bottom of the receiver here, and it goes into your camera's hot shoe mount. All right, so let's take a look inside here at what all we have. I'll just pull out all the wires here. This is just where they're stored. Whenever you receive this, these will all be in individual plastic bags. I've obviously taken them out and destroyed the order a little bit here. So first we have the microphones themselves here. They come wrapped in this Comica branded little wrap here. But I found that whenever this was still attached, I took it off of this one, that's why it's not as nicely wrapped. Whenever it's still attached there, I ended up just taking it off because running the mic up inside my shirt, this material was catching onto my shirt, and it was just making unnecessary noise. So we have the microphone itself here, and then it just has a nice little foam cover on there to, I don't know, help with harsh noises, but also included are these little dead cats. So if you're outside and it's super windy, these are gonna be very helpful for that. And that's it for the microphones. These microphones included, actually I found to be really good. They put out a good signal. For, obviously the lav mic I'm using right now, when I bought the Zoom F1 field thing, it came with its own microphone, but I found it not to be very good. So I ended up buying like a $100 Sennheiser microphone. But I believe this whole pack here, I'll put the price on screen because I'm not even sure. I think it's between $100 and $200. It's a really good value because you don't need to buy another $100 lavalier mic, because these things included are really good. And my favorite thing I want to show you here, these are the cables for the receiver. So this is either your 3.5 millimeter that goes to your camera, but my favorite part is all the things that connect to the receiver or these microphones, it actually screws in so it can't be pulled out easily. So just for example, like say I wanted to use the XLR attachment here going into my audio recorder, I'd go to output here and then I'd screw that in. So this can't just be easily pulled out of there and accidentally ruin your audio. That's something I really like. And the same goes for the microphones that go into the mic packs. That can't be pulled out easily. So say if the cord was running up under your shirt and you ended up leaning over and it pulled on that, obviously, you know, if you pulled way too hard, you'd break the cord, but it's not gonna easily just pop out of there. So like I said, I think that this is a really good value kit, and it has everything you need and more included to get some really professional sounding audio. I think the only real drawback is the plasticky nature of the mic packs themselves and the receiver, but it's obviously not weatherproofed and it can't take a lot of shock because it's just plastic. The electronic components inside would get damaged if you smashed it or something, but if you just want a mic pack for regular use cases, you're not in extreme environments, and maybe you're on a little bit more of a budget, this is a really good place to start. So far, you've been hearing just the audio from this Zoom F1 field recorder. So I'm gonna show you what it sounds like out of the Comica mic set, and both from my camera's preamps and from an external audio recorder, so you can hear the differences in audio quality. And I have a segment, I did a range test with my friends where they're both mic'd up as once. Obviously, I can't put both of these mic packs on me at the same time. So I had my friends both individually mic'd up, and we just did a range test out in a field. Not super professional or anything, but just so I could include that in this review. So put on a pair of headphones if you haven't had a pair on yet. If you want to hear what these sound like, I'm going to start with the camera preamp audio because it's going to be a little bit lower quality, but I still think it's going to sound better than this Zoom recorder because this doesn't have very good preamps. So here we go. So this is the Comica mic transmitting straight to the receiver on top of my camera and straight into my camera's preamps. This is the least hassle way of recording your audio, so if you don't want to have to worry about syncing it in post or possibly even about editing it, this would be the way to go. But I'd say be wary if you're like me and you have a camera with bad preamps, it might be beneficial to run it to an external recorder. But this is what it sounds like sent into the camera's preamps. It should be a little noisy, but it should be less noisy than the preamps that were in this recorder, because this is all there is. So now that you've heard what it sounds like, you kind of got accustomed to what the Comica wireless lav mic sounds like sent into my camera's preamps, let me show you what it sounds like sent into the Zoom H6 audio recorder that probably has much better preamps. So here we go. All right, so this is what it sounds like sending the signal to my Zoom H6 audio recorder that has better preamps than my camera. The gain is about 5 out of 10, so halfway through the power of the gain. If you wanted even a cleaner signal, you could use a Fed Head Phantom or some other sort of gain booster. Because right now I'm using the XLR output from the receiver. You could do that to boost your audio signal and get a cleaner signal, but you're getting into a territory of using a lot of equipment. If you just want to have a low hassle, I think a lot of people that are going to be looking into a budget mic set like this are going to want a low hassle solution to, you know, having wireless audio so you can have a long range, and even having the 2 mic packs is good if you have 2 hosts, or even for like a podcast or something. But especially if you're moving around and you don't need to worry about being tethered to anything, the least hassle way to do it is obviously just to send the audio straight to your camera, and then you don't have to sync it in post. You don't need to take an audio recorder with you. But I'm just showing you the different options and the potential you can get out of this in the different ways of recording your audio. This is what this has sounded like. I want to go now to a range test I recorded with my friends. It's not very scientific, like I said, but I think you'll get a little laugh out of it, and then we'll wrap up the video. And I hope this has been a pretty good first attempt at a mic review. So let's go to the range test. All right, so now we're out here doing an in-field test of the microphones. We're gonna figure out the distance we can get from the transceiver before the microphones cut out. I have one on each of my friends here. They're on their own channels, and they're just going to probably talk some nonsense and run around like idiots. So here we go.
So wait, what should I talk about? What should we talk about? You know, dude, these Comica mics are pretty good. The receivers are pretty good too, dude.
They actually are.
I think we might be able to use them for our podcast. I think it's going to be interesting.
I think it will. Bro.
I like the Comica mics, dude. They're pretty cool. I wonder how far we're going to go before we cut out.
I'm pretty far away from that. Wonder if he can still hear us.
Right now, I'd probably say, Eli, what do you think?
About 60, 70 yards.
Yeah, about 60, 70 yards.
Range,
So like right here, is this good? Like, are we?
So like the maximum range,
So like
where you can
65
still hear
yards.
it. Yeah, let's say 65, 70 yards.
Like honestly, the microphone, like when I was listening to it, like the microphone quality is not that bad. Like if we were in like a controlled environment inside, I think it'd be perfect.
Take that from Mason. He's an audio guy. Okay, I'm stealing Eli's mic this time. That concludes our range segment. I don't think that was nearly as scientific as I was hoping it would be. It was actually pretty stupid. But I figured out about the effective range. I think pretty much anybody who's going to be filming reasonably is not going to be going that far away.
Yeah, like most likely you're just going to be using this like in a studio or in like a controlled setting, like on the street. Like you're probably never going to be going further than like 60, 65 yards from the transceiver.
So right now,
what I mean?
I have, for the best audio quality, I have the transceiver connected to a Zoom H6 audio recorder. Back to the rest of the video. All right, I hope you were able to get something at all out of that. I hope you enjoyed this review. Thank you, Comica, for sending me this mic set. I actually think I'm gonna use it in my work. Like I said at the beginning of the video, Comica did send this to me, but I feel as if I'm being very fair and unbiased. Just because a company sends me products, that doesn't change what I say about what I say about the products, and I hope that has been reflected in my past reviews and this review as well. Like I said, plasticky, that is probably the cheapest feeling part of it, because especially, I'm just really happy with the screw thing so it doesn't get pulled out. I mean, any professional audio equipment in terms of like lav mics and stuff like this should definitely have that. And if it doesn't, you should, you know, spend a little bit more and get that. So like I said, I've been using, this has been my lav mic up until now. So I've only been able to mic one person at a time, and I also haven't been able to listen to what my audio sounds like. So it's always a gamble of whether or not it would turn out, or if the recorder would run out of battery, or the SD card would fill up or something. I wouldn't have known about that with this recorder, but this obviously opens up more possibilities. So I've been using this kit for my personal video, like my past couple review videos on my Sigma video, and I think my subscriber, no, not my subscriber photo editing video, but maybe the video before that. And I've also even used it on a professional shoot just yesterday, and I think the audio turned out great. So I recommend it. I think it's a great value for what the price they're selling it for. So check out Comica. Thank you, Comica, for sending me this, and I hope you learned something from the review. All right, leave a like, leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye.